I don't know how it started. I don't know if, Rob, you're the one who started it. I don't know if Taylor started it. I don't know if my wife started it, but there have been whispers and rumblings going around now that Hugh Jackman is coming back to play Wolverine one more time in the upcoming Deadpool 3. It has sparked more speculation about, well, who's the new Wolverine going to be? I myself love the idea of Zac Efron. I think he would be a great Wolverine, but there's been a lot of whispers and a lot of talk about Daniel Radcliffe possibly being Wolverine. By the way, his new movie, Weird, the Al Yankovic story, I believe is coming out in the next week or two on the Roku app, which you don't need a Roku to watch, by the way. You can download the Roku app on other platforms as well. You must watch this movie. It is fantastic. So watch it the moment you get a chance. But Daniel Radcliffe stars as Weird Al Yankovic in it. He's fantastic. But he's also got several scenes in the movie where he's shirtless. And oh my God, this guy's on Hugh Jackman's workout outfit because he's ripped and he's getting quite big too. So the whispers are going around a lot that Daniel Radcliffe, and I know you are a full proponent of this idea of Daniel Radcliffe being Wolverine.
Look, I think it's a good idea. Taron Egerton as well. I mean, and
Taron Egerton, yeah, was a good choice as well.
And people say that, look, Wolverine's 5 feet tall. I mean, in the comics.
Yep.
That's why Colossus can throw him as a fastball special.
Well, he could throw him anyway. He is Colossus.
Well, it's true, but it would just be harder to throw a 6'4" guy like Hugh Jackman. But I think that going younger and going with somebody like a Daniel Radcliffe, because look, he puts on a little bit of facial hair, puts on a gruff voice.
Well, don't get your hopes too high.
I know.
Because Daniel Radcliffe has shot those rumors down. He is not going to be Wolverine. He said the following. He said, "It's purely a press tour rumor. I say something, then occasionally I get bored of answering it the same way, so I say something different, then it sets it off again. I should just never open my mouth," he recently told GQ in an interview. Being easily identifiable by a role is something Radcliffe knows can be difficult to shake off. Obviously, he was Harry Potter. And that's why he says he doesn't ever want to get locked into something that I am not sure I will be able to love the same amount the whole time. Listen to that again. This is why Daniel Radcliffe says he's really not into the idea of doing comic book film. He said he doesn't ever want to get locked down into something that I'm not sure that I will be able to love the same amount the whole time. Now, Daniel Radcliffe, listen, a lot of actors have been in successful roles that they kind of get typecast for, but literally, Daniel Radcliffe was in a top 3 or 4 most popular movie franchise ever and grew up in it. He was literally a child when he started and then an adult when he finished. And so he knows all about how the mustache glue is starting to come loose. He literally grew up in that. He knows all about that. And he's asking himself, do I want to go through that again? Even if it's something different. And he also went on to talk about how he loves the flexibility of doing smaller indie projects. He's doing really well with it. He continues to cash millions of dollars in checks every month just from residuals of Harry Potter. So it's not like the dude needs the money. Maybe it's an interesting approach for him. So don't expect to see Daniel Radcliffe as Wolverine anytime soon. Anyway, Chris, you hear Daniel Radcliffe turning down the rumor.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that in general? But also, what do you think about his rationale as well? Guys, we want to thank one of the sponsors of this episode, Wondery, and their official Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power podcast. Your host, Felicia Day, and several special guests provide an inside look at the groundbreaking series and what it took to bring Middle-earth to life. Each of the episodes of the official podcast features exclusive interviews with the series showrunners, J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay, including the very first full breakdown of the incredible season finale. Felicia also goes behind the scenes with the cast and crew to bring you jaw-dropping stories and Easter eggs you won't want to miss. So watch The Rings of Power on Prime Video and listen to all 8 episodes of the official The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power podcast for free on Amazon Music. Download the Amazon Music app now.
I mean, I understand that, especially growing up in the spotlight and having, his formative years on set. I understand that mentality of being really choosy with your projects. He's also really taken, and I know they get confused for each other sometimes too, he's taken an Elijah Wood approach to his career as well, of picking really interesting different projects that separate him from his Harry Potter identity. I think Wolverine would do that as well, but I can understand not signing on to a several film deal once again. I really wish he'd do it because I would love him as Logan. I think he'd be great. Dude's been jacked for years. And yeah, he's the right height. I think that'd be great.
Rob, what do you think about this?
I mean, look, I understand where he's coming from, but he might be lying. Andrew Garfield wasn't going to be in Spider-Man No Way Home.
Exactly.
No, I'm just kidding. He's not lying. I think that look, in this day and age, there is a real danger of actors being typecast. And I think what he's done post Harry Potter, whether he was going all nude on Broadway for Equus, or whether he was playing a corpse in
Swiss Army Man,
or whether he's now doing Guns Akimbo, or I mean Horns. I really liked him in Horns. I think he's really managing his career well because he's turned into a chameleon. And the Weird Al movie, like you said, he proves his comedic chops.
He's so good.
I haven't seen the film.
He's so good in it.
The trailers and the clips I've seen, he's a master at comedy. And he was a master at comedy in Swiss Army Man too. So I think he's to play Wolverine, and then I understand why. What's he going to do? Play it like Hugh Jackman for 21 years? Now 25 years when Deadpool 3 comes out. I can get that. I can understand that he doesn't want to jump right into something like that.
All right, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? If you had dreams of Daniel Radcliffe being the new Wolverine, they have been shattered. But more interestingly, what do you think about his rationale about saying, look, I've done the whole thing before. I don't want to be locked into any sort of a role again that for a longer period of time that I don't know that I'm going to love 5 years from now the way I do now. Sounds pretty level-headed to me. What do you guys think about that? Jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.